And we're live. We are live. I feel like my camera keeps dropping. What's this thing called? This boom arm thingamajig. Ain't so great. Now I don't know how smoothly this is gonna work. StreamYard tends to work a little better for me than OBS does at the moment. I think it's got something to do with my internet connection. And it does the fluctuating thing, man. I don't know. So, anyway. Quickly little landscape study today. Actually, I was just doing this one now. I'm getting warmed up for... Yeah, I better start recording this so that I also get... So I can use this later. Got a little video in mind. Tomorrow I'm doing... Oh, actually tonight. So, not tomorrow, but tonight I'm doing a lesson on the Magma channel. Let's focus on landscapes. Second... I suppose the third one overall that we're doing this. Last week it was more focused on rocks. Because, well... kind of like a foundational element of landscapes. Yeah, so let's make this smaller, get it out of the way. Actually, let's just hide it completely. We don't need that. Now, for whatever reason, I don't have a chat window. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Come on, OBS, tell me these things. Studio mode, perhaps? No, that doesn't do anything. View, docs, stats, okay, stats is good, that's always, can chuck that on the side, and there we go, there's a chat thingy. Hey. Coolios. Let's move that to the side. Nice. Okay, so if you don't know about Magma, that's what I'm painting in now. It is a online collaborative shared canvas painting application. Yeah, and I actually work with the team there, and it's become one of my main things I paint in, because I need to obviously know the software really well, and I just enjoy it. I like it. The fun part of it is that you can have multiple people on the canvas with you. You can have up to 50 people on a canvas with you, which is pretty rad. Yeah, it's pretty rad. Now, I'm going to be doing this landscape down here. I've done these other two already. So, yeah. Let's go then, shall we? If my camera bounces around a bit, don't mind that. Let's make my thing a bit smaller here. There we go. Okay, so first things first, nice big brush, and I just want to block in a kind of background shape. Things look kind of warm in here, so I'm going to go with a bit of a yellowy browny something color. Although let's go with like a burnt umberish. I think I'll just build on top of the dark that's there. Fill things in first. And we'll do a little sketch. Although, let's make things easier for myself here. Before getting to sketch, let's roughly plot down a few shapes. Just like can even just drop the opacity a little bit on it. I've got this cool shape over here at the back. It's sort of halfway through the composition there. Wow, my camera really bounces around here. I'll fix all this kind of stuff later. Let me not draw so vigorously, then maybe my camera won't bounce quite so much. And we've got some grey rocks in here. Grey rocks. I hope this chat thing's working. If you are, if there's anybody out there, let me know. Say hi. Live chat. There we go. I haven't tested streaming through to YouTube in a little while. With OBS, that is. And yeah, these rocks sort of bounce around, and then we've got a yellowy green thing. It's yellowy greeny orange. We'll get into the specifics of that in a bit. It's almost like this wraps around here. And the sky is light. Pretty light gray, saturated. Why? Now this will probably be all distracting. This is meant to be a rough something. Let's make my brush smaller, let's sketch something out. And I'm going to do it on a new layer. Just, it's helpful to keep a sketch on a separate layer. So what have we got? Well, we've got one big mountain thing here. We've got one that's a little higher behind it. Let's make this smaller. That is much lower contrast because it's further. There's a bit more atmospheric perspective there and light bouncing around that drops the contrast. This sits actually over quite a bit. Could do something like that. Let's exaggerate some forms here. Sharpen that up. Do another one. And Now the reason I wanted to do this landscape is because of how interesting this rock formation is. Check that out. Maybe that's a little difficult to see because of the canvas resolution has dropped. I'll bring my PureF board in because I've got it here too. Okay, if we zoom all the way in, let's make this bigger. Check out the cool change in form and texture from this sort of more of a slope and then into this rock that like juts up. I think it's pretty cool. So that was a big part of wanting to do this piece. And also this sort of brown, orangey brown into yellowish, slightly greenish looking type of grassland here, I thought also was quite interesting. And then, okay. It's been funny how much time I've been spending just looking at all these different landscape photos, trying to decide which one to use as our main subject to study in the stream later. And it just, all of them, I just look at all these pictures, I'm like, I'd love to paint that. And I'm not particularly good at painting landscapes. It's something that I'm putting some time into and want to get better at. But the idea with doing this, even though I'm running a lesson on it, is that all the fundamental stuff that I covered in the previous Magma classroom streams, all of that is enough to get you started with unpacking subject matter like this. So even though, like me, you might not be good at landscapes in particular, you could just apply what we've learned so far in the fundamentals. Now, why is my brush size not giving me? There we go. And you'll be able to tackle it. And then it's a matter of time and rendering. But the idea is to get good form, good values, good lighting. it doesn't have to be a perfect thing. It can be rough, can be imperfect. It's just meant to be a study. But I want to take time. I want to take time to figure it out. I tend to be a little impatient. So, yeah, I think we've got a cool rock over here. Just got this sort of shape to it down here, and then a whole lot of other rocks, which we can get to. I just want to get the rough shape that they outline. It's something like that. We've got a lot. They could actually come up a little higher. Like here. They've got a little house in the background, tiny little house. Seems to be far away from anything and everybody. Sounds like my kind of place. In the wilderness, quiet, dramatic landscapes. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm very down for that. Let me know if the music is loud enough or too loud. Got a new batch of sounds to play with. This kind of spacey exploration type of thing. What's called Atmospheric Explorer is the name of the album that this is from. Quite nice. Okay, let's dive back into the painting layer. Make the brush a bit bigger. I'm just using a square brush. I think people get way too caught up on brushes and what to use, particularly beginners. I was guilty of this too. But for a study, you don't need fancy brushes. You can do a lot with really simple brushes. Oops, wrong layer. Undo. Cool. Yeah, we want to have some hard edges here, so let's make sure my opacity is high, make sure the density is high, or flow. And let's get that shape in. Last night on the Magma Clubhouse stream, which we do every Wednesday, the theme was Pixel Party, and yeah, we set up a pretty tiny canvas, 640 by 480, classic resolution, and created some frames. People could go in and create their pixel characters. We had 64 by 64 pixel frames. And people were drawing in to start off, draw just the sum of their character, maybe just the character portrait, which is quite fun. Nice, really limited amount of space and pixels to work with, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun indeed. Okay, that value is not right. I'll sort out values later. Let's just get shape going. See, now I'm zoomed in more than I should be for this stage of the process, and this is why I have to do these things beforehand, so I get my head in the game. There we go. And behind it, there's this lighter. Everything's a bit lighter. Shift it towards the blues a bit, maybe. It'll be darker than that. Let's. Because the sky is quite light. So, yeah, we've got that value change. Up, across, up. Now I want to check something here. I just want to do a little verification here, make sure that everything is appearing on the YouTubes. for whatever reason. I've got the brightness. There we go. Channel out. Cool. Okay. Looks like it's working. You know, sometimes I'll check if the chat is quiet. I need to do a little check on my end. There we go. Okay. Back to painting. So it's always good to stay pretty zoomed out early on, just so that you're not getting stuck like I was just a moment ago, like looking at details that don't really matter. So you're just like looking at the overall shapes of things. There, like that could be a bit darker, and you see values a bit better when you're sort of zoomed out and you squint your eyes. And then there we get pretty dark down here, desaturated by the look of things. Let's go a little bit more. Over we go. And it's a little bit of dark over there. Definitely dark under this rock over here. That's a very clear shadow that sticks out to me anyway. Not an important one. Most of this has the kind of yellow going on. This section here is darker and it goes up. Let's make the brush a little bigger. Don't want to spend too much time. Keep, really small brush. It takes really long to fill stuff out. Obviously. So you're gonna make your brush bigger for some part. Pop in the eardrums. That's annoying. These headphones. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, 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 ow. Come on, man. I don't have sufficient intelligence to put on headphones properly. These headphones can't deal with some frequencies, it seems. And so the result is to just make a popping sound that damn near deafens me. Now I've lost my audio. Yeah, there we go. Nice and loud. Let's drop that down. Okay, back to it. Looks, where's our light source actually? It's really, it's obviously a very cloudy scenario, so there's not a direct light source. It's all quite diffused by the clouds. So it gets a little tricky to define. I mean, I could change that up, I suppose, if I wanted to. This side looks to be a bit blue, so I'm going to come over here and a little bit darker, make it bigger. Okay, that's quite an exaggeration. That's all good. Go slightly darker down here. Waka chicka wow. So this almost seems like I've made too much there. Maybe I have to bring these rocks up a little bit. This one too. And then we've got some lighter areas of this. I'm going to go towards yellow, desaturate it a little bit. sort of mound over here. There are some rocks that go across there, and this sort of hides a bit of those rocks. So let's make this bigger, work a bit from back to front. And then the stuff will be kind of in front of it. It's maybe too much. Let's come down a little bit in value. We're going to get more darks coming in here. So what did I do here? This is meant to come over a bit more. I'm really loving this Giano tablet that I'm using at the moment. It's so comfortable to use, really big, nice drawing area. But the funny thing about what I've done here is that I have mapped the tablet, and this is big, this is like the overall size of this. Okay, well, it's bigger than, the active area is bigger than 12 inches across. And the display that I've mapped it to is 12 inches. So the display is smaller. Bit of an unusual thing to do, but it's... I wanted to try something with the express keys, which now I haven't done, because the Giano's only got 6 express keys. And I could do with a few more than that if I use them. Normally I use the keyboard. But if I put the laptop in front of me and the Giano tablet in front of me, so yeah, computer in front of me, Giano tablet in front of me, my keyboard is really far away. But like an uncomfortable length. My arm is like fully stretched out, which I don't like. I don't have a controller, I don't have a small keyboard that I can put off to the side. So I thought, well, maybe I'll connect it to the display tablet. And then also make use of the extra keys on that, which I haven't done at all. I've just decided to instead simplify my process. Requiring fewer hotkeys. This should be a bit more to the blue side, I think. This rock is a blue-grey. So all I'm doing here is finding shapes, right? Like trying to just layer in a bunch of shapes at one another. I'm not the most efficient worker with this. I'm also, like I said, I'm still getting comfortable with landscapes. It's not my main thing. So it takes a while. And then with experience, hopefully, I'll get quicker at doing this. Probably at the stage now where I can get rid of the sketch lines. Go a bit lighter in the background, I think. Especially just to accentuate some of the darker areas here. To make that look a bit better. Okay, I'll look at the reference more closely for this later. There we go, there we go. This is a start. We've got some shapes to work with. There's also a bit of rock over here, like lighter rock. Yeah, I definitely made that a little too tall. Probably could have brought this down a bit. Well, that's alright, young man, that's alright. Spread this out a little bit. Just soften, coming down. Okay. Obviously it's tricky as well using only a hard square brush. But I like me a little challenge. What's our time like here? I want to keep this going till about 2:30. Yeah, just meant to be a study. Doesn't have to be super far along. Let's push all this back. Let it grade a little more easily. This could probably all be a bit darker, yeah. Anyone out there who hasn't watched the latest episode of The Mandalorian? Surely not, right? And if you've watched it, how good was that episode? I'm super stoked and also sad that next week is the season finale. So I had a good time with this last episode. I tried to paint at the same time. No ways. It's got my full attention. Full attention. Okay, now don't want this low density, low opacity nonsense again. I have a tendency to work with too low of an opacity, or like softer brushed, like too much sometimes. When I'm feeling a bit unsure of things. And it actually just makes things worse. My nose is itchy. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna turn off my camera and mute my nose for a moment. Oh, it didn't mute. Apologies. You know what, let's be a bit bolder here. I'm gonna make this a bit more vibrant. Let's crank this up a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, we got this strong one here. Right there. Yeah. Okay, I like it. There's a bit of light over here. This is a small detail. I really shouldn't be focusing here. All the way on this rock at the back. Digging this music. Grab this off of Humble Bundle. Some copyright-free music to use in the streams. There we go. That's what happens when we turn off the sketch layer, and it all looks like a total mess right now, as I would expect. Let's make this a bit darker here. Let's get some shape in here, man. Get some shape. Because these two things are very different. Let's come down a bit here too. That was a bit extreme, wasn't it? Sort of comes down a little further, actually. Come on. Sort of follows around a little bit. Okay. And yeah, okay, it's a bit lighter over there. There's such subtle changes in value from a distance here. it's very gentle, very gentle. So we can start defining some rocks here, maybe give them some definition. But I'm gonna need to come in a little closer now. So obviously coming in close, what atrocious brushwork is this? All to be expected when you're working at quite a distance. With a tiny brush. This could fade a little bit, just a little bit. Soften that edge. Although I want that edge to actually angle this way a bit more. There we go. So the way I had done it was a little too straight. Now what about here? These rocks also turning a little bit more to the blue side of things. It's a subtle change. It's a subtle change. Bump up these. It's quite dark there at the back. These ones are kind of light, but they just need to be bluer because it works nicely next to this sort of orangey warmth that's going on in the piece. In the landscape, not in the piece. I just don't want to claim this as a piece. It's a tad bold. I'm just kind of dabbing around, dabbity dabbity dab. A bit darker here, maybe just. That actually draws too much attention. Too much attention it'd be drawing. And what, we've got some lighter areas too. So definitely on top of that rock. Hey now, let's go smaller. Got this rock here. Probably a lasso. Using the lasso for would be quicker for all of this. Which we do have. It's here. It's here. Okay, let's drop that value a little bit. It's a little too strong. Zoom out. Okay. Actually think this rock should be bigger. It's probably a time for a change of music, right? The unfortunate thing about this album is that all the tracks are like, actually with all the music I got there, they're all about 2 minutes long. So you get over it pretty quickly if it's always repeating. Yeah, let's change it. View playlist. Oh, silence. Silence. What next? What next? What else was in this grouping of stuff? Epic adventure, sci-fi action, cinematic metal. Let's do it. Okay. Bit extreme for the peaceful landscape, wouldn't you say? Would you say? Yeah, no, that's not quite the mood I'm in. Let's see. Self-action, we did atmospheric explorer, epic adventure. This is kind of a fantasy vibe. But the thing with these, Darkest Dawn, it's the same track, varying in time from 30 seconds to usually 120 seconds. So it might be a bit repetitive. Seems like the kind of stuff that would be good for a little bit of a D&D adventure. Speaking of which, there's a movie I got to go and see. Ba-ba-bam. So what sort of patterns are in here? We've got like a little bit of bumpy round. It's like a little clump of stuff here. Clump of stuff. More rocks. It should be bluer. Oh. We can bump that music up then. Thanks, Marta, for letting me know. Can you hear it now? Or is it... Interesting. Could it be that this whole time I wasn't playing the music loud enough? In my headphones it's pretty loud, that's where I think that there's just a bit of a imbalance. Okay, now it stopped. Cool. Good to know. It's kind of easy to find yourself spending 3 hours on a landscape like this. Dramatic stuff. I feel like I need to draw some orcs chasing hobbits here. What's the time like? Okay, 1:10. That's cool. We can go for a little while longer. Okay, now we need some lighter planes on these rocks. Some lighter planes. I'm struggling to kind of see a little bit. So we'll guess it. And then we can come neaten up later. So most of the light's going to be coming from above, right, in this diffused setting. It's not going to be very directional. not looking at the reference. I'm just sort of playing around a little bit now. So this is sharper there. There we go. No. This has should have a bit more direction. Because it does that. Oh, let's do a different color. It's rounded. Little smiley face. Haha. Actually, dare I do it? There's a weird sort of cave thing that wraps around. So I don't know how this would work in terms of physics or geology or any of the things. Yeah, no. Let's not do that. This could probably be a little teeny bit lighter. Oh, I'm using the wrong tool, that's why. Maybe we can get some of this brown up there. Desaturated. There's almost a kind of greenness as well to these rocks. I want to just drop a splash of a sort of green in there. More desaturated. This is quite adventurous music. Good. Loot some treasure somewhere. Yeah, I think it's gotta happen this weekend. Gotta go watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie. You know, I mean, pretty much from this point, it's all just starting to add in tinier little details, but the overall shapes and things are here. Is enough to work with. To push the piece to be like way more interesting. What our values look like. Probably a bit, yeah, it looks like it's a bit too light on the landscape a bit. If we were trying to do a very accurate recreation of things. Here we could definitely go a bit darker. Just a little bit, Here, this section here. Let's make this bulge come over a bit more. Just define that shape better. What else? Here it's definitely a bit darker. Like, I did start off doing that, but I thought it was too dark. But that's because I've made the overall landscape a bit too light. Overall. Shift it down into the blues. Definitely needs to be darker. I can't unsee this kind of like frog-faced mountain. It's stuck with me now. It's stuck. Maybe I'll have to actually spend some time with this and actually flesh out that idea. But that's the thing, right? It's like reading clouds. When you start doing these studies, you're like, okay, well, how can I make it my own thing? You've got your eyes all squinted, like, oh, what if I did this? What if I did that? Suddenly you have a whole world developed. Now start asking questions about design and composition, like why do I have this flowing all the way around here? Does it help anything? Where do I want people to look? Let's bring a focal point. Da, 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 da. Okay, well that was just a little hangout-ish. Lunchtime. Well, actually now I'm about to go have lunch. And then I got work to do. Brushbacks to finish. Videos to record. Scripts to write. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll spend some more time on this. Get stuck into some details. Get lost. That's good. Strong. But good to see that it seems like the OBS YouTube stream thing seems to have worked out, so I can put a bit of effort into some fun overlays perhaps. for future streams on the channel. And if you want to join me for painting more landscape stuff, we'll be doing it tonight over on the Magma YouTube channel. I have your own canvas, I get to draw on the canvas with me. And we can see what we can do with our 2 hours. In terms of getting a good landscape done. Fun times. Cool, everybody's. Ciao for now. Check you all soon. Thanks for joining. Stop stream. Yeah, stop stream.